In this video, I want to go ahead and start working on the actual, I guess you could say, component that is going to be utilized to move the firearm up and down. So this component is more or less just kind of an attachment point. So that way we can, spawn the firearm, attach it to it, then move the firearm up and down, so on and so forth. Now, I've kind of thought about this a little bit, and I want to do it very similar to how we did. I can select it the wall weapon. So instead of having, spawning each firearm, destroying it, blah, 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 instead we just have a simple skeletal mesh. And the skeletal mesh is always going to be rendered as static for an optimization purposes. And we're basically just going to be setting the mesh as to, what it is using. So we'll keep it quite simple doing it that way because we can read the information from the data assets. So if we look at our data, go to data assets, weapons, we'll just go to the BAR. We can see the BAR, if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Has the actual static mesh that we want to use. So we just need to read that in, load it, and use it. So to begin, let's go ahead and head over to the mystery box class. We want to add a new component, TObject pointer, and let's just name it, let's do weapon attach component. And I'm not sure if I want to use I need to see really quick. So it's a U, can't remember if a primitive component has a transform. Primitive components are scene components. Okay, so we don't want a primitive component, we want a scene component. For some reason, I was thinking scene components inherited from primitive component, which is not the case. So we want a U scene component. Go to our constructor and go ahead and do a create default subobject of U scene component. And this will be the weapon attach component. Now we can go ahead and set up attachment to the mystery box mesh component, which in our case, we're actually just going to swap to the root component in both cases because they are, well, the same. And we don't really have, well, we are going to have to offset it, at least some, because right now if we click on the mystery box mesh, you can see the transform, wrong button, or the origin point rather, is back here. So this scene component is going to be right here when it needs to be somewhere in the middle, there. So just like how we have a socket here, I want to add a socket just for that. But instead of it being s_lid, let's do s_weapon attach. Or I guess you could say weapon start. Yeah, weapon start. So let's go to our mystery box mesh. Add a socket, s_weapon start. And let's go ahead and add a preview. We can add the BAR. Nope, these are all static mesh, go figure. We'll just go into top view then. All right, so I want to be able to look right through it. So we want this weapon start to be right in the center. So just like that. Save that. And let's go to our perspective so we can kind of visualize the height. So what I want to do really quick, I'm going to go ahead and go to the skeletal mesh of the bar. We should be able to, I'm trying to remember, there was, I thought, an option to make a static mesh. Make static mesh, and we'll just do it on the root. So BAR test. Okay, back to the mystery box. Let's add a preview of BAR test. And we can kind of see roughly where it's at. So you can see here, based upon where the root of the firearm is, that's where the kind of the positioning is going to be a little bit of a problem. So what we're going to end up doing is figuring out the bounds of the firearm, well, the firearm mesh, and that's going to be used to center it up on this socket. But for now, I'm not too overly concerned, but that would basically allow us to offset it to where even though the socket's right here, the weapon would be, say, over here. It's kind of more or less in the middle. So that's something we're going to have to make sure we add to the to-do list. Now, in terms of height, I'd say something kind of like that is probably sufficient. Yeah, somewhere in there. Okay, so this is going to be kind of our, our default point. So let's go ahead and save that and delete the BAR test. And I would say we are good to go in that aspect. So we have our kind of our starting point. Now we want to go ahead and make the weapon mesh component that is going to be cycling through or cycling out. So T object pointer of a U skeletal mesh component, and this will be the weapon mesh. So weapon mesh will be create default subobject of U skeletal mesh component, and we'll just call it skeletal mesh, or sorry, not skeletal mesh, weapon mesh. And I forgot to name it component at the end, not sure why. So weapon mesh component, rather, sorry. Then what we want to do is go ahead and set up attachment to the weapon attach component. And we're not going to offset it here. Basically, every time we cycle through to a different firearm, we have to calculate the bounds, in which case we then can find kind of the center point and use that as the offset. So once we have that, we want to go ahead and render as static. So be render static equals true, and that'll just be a small little optimization. And now we are ready to basically kind of more or less give everything a try. So if we head over to our lid open rotation, we want to go ahead and do the exact same thing, but instead it's going to be a F vector, and this will be the weapon mesh. Let's do, I guess this could be kind of like the max location or the height. Let me think of a name. All right, so the best name I could think of was the weapon mesh interp finish location. And we'll just make it a 0 vector by default. So this is kind of like our target point, just like lid open rotation. So in our tick here, basically we're going to try to figure out whether or not we have reached a certain height, so that location, and once we have reached it, we can then start interpolating down. So the way this will work is we're going to have a simple Boolean. So I'm going to separate these two, and we're going to have a bool. Let's do B weapon mesh interp to finish complete. And this will be false by default. So in our tick, we're going to do a check. So basically actually kind of what we're doing here. So if this is false, then that means the weapon mesh is still going to be interpolating up, up, up. And once it reaches whatever threshold we define, it's going to be true. And then it's going to start interpolating down. So we can go ahead and kind of set our target. So const F vector. This is going to be the weapon mesh target. And this will be weapon mesh interp to finish complete. If this is true, we want a F vector 0 vector. And if it is false, we want the finish location that we just made. So from here, what we can do is we can move our actual scene component, so our weapon attach component, pretty much just up and down. So in our case, we can go ahead and set relative location to be the weapon mesh target. Sorry, not the weapon mesh target location, but the result. So we need to go ahead and get the current location. So let's do F vector current weapon mesh location equals weapon attach component get relative location. Then we have the target. Now we just need to interpolate to the target. So current weapon mesh location equals fmath interp2. I'm going to do a v interp2 as a vector, and let's actually do a constant because we don't want to ease in or out of it. And our current is going to be the current weapon mesh location. The target is going to be the weapon mesh target location, delta time, and then let's try a value of something like, we'll just try 5 and just see what this is like, speed-wise. Obviously, these two at some point are going to be, I guess you could say, tunable. So then we simply set our weapon relative mesh location, and we are, for the most part, good to go. So to begin, at least testing, we can go ahead and restart the editor and just see where we're at. Okay, once we are back in the editor, let's go ahead and select our box, go to the weapon mesh component, and we'll just set it to the BAR. So that way we can have a visual of what's going on. Next up, go ahead and give it a try. Actually, we haven't set the location. I didn't think about that. Okay, so that did not filter out at all. What was the variable called? The weapon mesh interp finished location. Let's try something like, we'll do 90 on the Z. Press play. And it is going up, but it is going up extremely slow. So that's something we need to fix. So let's go ahead and we'll go up to something like 20 for the interpolation speed. However, I also want to tweak and figure out how, what value this should be at. So what we're going to do is very similar to where we have this boolean here. So adjust lid on construction. We can basically use this kind of in conjunction because, again, this is going to be a editor-only property, so I'm not too worried about it. So what we want to do is in our on construction, if this is true, we want to go ahead and take our weapon attach component and set the relative location to be our weapon mesh interp finish location. And in the other case, we want to go ahead and set it back to 0. So f vector 0 vector, like that. And that's going to allow us to visually see, where is like our endpoint at, as well as with the actual, the lid being open. So we should have a mystery box. Good grief, where's the category? So we'll just go ahead and turn that to true, and we can see it's up here. Okay, so that's kind of our endpoint. So I just collapse all. Yeah, I know I'm being dumb about this. There it is. Okay, so that would be it at 90. So if we go to, say, the player height, which is about at the top of this capsule, I don't think that's quite high enough. So let's try something like, dang it, I just unselected it. Let's try something like 110. 120. And yeah, that'll kind of be our starting point. So we can turn that back off and give it a try. So let's see what the speed's like. So the speed is better, but it is still quite slow. But I'm quite satisfied with the height part. We might need to go a little bit lower. I need to actually play and kind of see roughly what it's like. So that's the only drawback. Okay, so we have that set up and at least functional. So the only thing I want to go ahead and do is tweak these interpolation speed values so we can control them within the editor. So inside the mysterybox.h, let's go to where we have our edit anywhere. And yeah, let's just go ahead and have do it right here. This will be the float lid. Let's just do lid interp speed and set it to 2 by default. And let's also have a float weapon mesh interp speed. And that'll be something even higher. So let's try to do like 50. So let's replace that and that and restart the editor. And that should allow us to actually kind of more or less see roughly what we're working with, where we can find, an appropriate value. Because obviously the 5 seconds for the lid being open is also going to be too long overall, or sorry, too short before it starts to close. So there are, plenty of things that need to actually be tweaked. So I don't want to drive it by, what do you call it? I don't want to drive the lid closing by necessarily the server. I want to drive the lid closing by the interaction being ended. And that's going to be through a couple different, I guess you could say, parameters. One being when the interpolation or the interpolated mesh goes back down to the bottom. Okay. So that's almost too fast. So that'll need to be tweaked a wee bit there, but still not bad overall. Okay, so we at least have that implemented so we can tweak it. So in the next video, I want to start working on the actual portion that will, I guess you could say, start cycling through the various firearms because we have, all the information in place. We just don't have it there, I guess you could say, visually. But the only thing I do want to do really quick is set it to some kind of default. So for the weapon mesh interp finished location, I'm going to set that, instead of being a 0 vector, 0, 0, and for the Z, 120, like that. And then I'm going to slow down the weapon mesh interp speed to 40 because 50 was too fast, and that's going to be more or less our defaults. And that'll be it. So that's going to be all for this video, and I will see you in the next one. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description below, where you can also get early access to this entire series.